What's up, guys? My name is Justin. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on iRacing for a global challenge in the Kia, and this will be an interesting one. I mentioned in previous videos that this is going to be hard to find an official race because a lot of people don't like the track and it's not popular. I, for one, love New Hampshire Road. I think it's an awesome track. This is one of the rare times, I guess, that I can think of at least, that we're using both chicanes on both ends, both turns 1 and 2 of the NASCAR Oval and 3 and 4. Usually, the series will run one or the other and then run just one of the chicanes. But we're running both here today, so it should be fun. Small field, 7 cars, so apologies for that. We're just battling one other Kia here today, so hopefully we can just have a nice, fun, clean race and get through this. For once, we do actually have something to gain other than just a couple IR points. We had a couple of ringmeisters that went so badly that you will not see either of them on the channel, and we died a lot. So we're down like 80 or 85 ironing this week, just from Ringmeister alone. And I said, we died on lap 3 twice, a Ringmeister and GTE. Maybe that's a sign we're going to have enough of that. So no Ringmeister on the channel for this week. Got tired of getting killed on the 3rd lap after putting so much time in and Q laps and everything. But we did lose some SR. We're down to 4.85. So 0.14 to gain. Don't think we'll gain it all back here from this today, but hopefully we get a chunk of it. And again, hopefully it's a good race, even though we only got one person to battle. Just got to avoid some of these Cadillacs these first couple laps. Hopefully they get away or spin out and end up behind us or something. But hopefully it's a good race, so make sure you drop that like, sub down below if you're new. Greatly appreciate all love and support, especially as I'm taking some time off from recording last week. But we'll get right here. We'll get on the grid and get ready to rock and roll and have 25 minutes here of the Kia pursuit. So let's get to it. Oh, full pace lap. Good grief. Totally unnecessary. Alright, we are ready. Looks like only 3 of the Cadillacs even gridded. Appreciate Maxwell, though, for allowing us to leave a gap. It's sometimes hard to find. Usually we have the Carl Sampson meme joke starts that we've talked about plenty on the channel before. Carl and I laugh at so much of Kias who insist on starting tucked right up against the back of the Cadillac field. Here it'll be less of an issue just because there are so few cars, but when there are 18 Cadillacs and 4 Kias and the Kia guy starting second or whatever insists on starting tucked up right under these guys for absolutely no reason other than to pile into their wreck, we always get a good laugh about that, except of course, as we saw last season at Snetterton, when it's you, it's not that funny anymore. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Again, should be fun. I love this track. I think it's great. I've had a lot of success here before in USF and the Solstice and Skip Barber and Spec Racer Ford. And it's just a good track for smaller Formula cars or GT entry-level type cars, PCC, that type of stuff. So good track, fun track. Hopefully it's a good race again. If we can just get out here with a nice smooth race, 0x, I think that hopefully we can pull away from Maxwell here and just have a nice calm race and not get killed by any Cadillacs. And we get some of that SR back, and if we get 6 or 8 iRating out of it, whatever, it doesn't matter. So appreciate y'all. Again, make sure you drop that like, sub down below. It means the world to me. Looks like the Cadillacs are all spread out as well for whatever reason, and we're ready to rock and roll. So let's get it. Try to keep the front tires on it, but obviously the key here is just to survive. First couple corners especially, all about making it through, no problems, no issues, nothing crazy, nothing stupid. Through there nicely, survived. Looks like Maxwell made it through the first couple as well. Nice and smooth, just get these front tires up to temp, and then once we get rolling, we can just find a nice pace, not run through them too terribly. Looks like the 2 cars should have this one handily based on the first couple corners here in the Cadillac field. Thought it would be pretty tricky to find a split, and it has been. This is literally the first one that's I've been available and looked to run that's gone official. I don't know how many splits have gone official this week, but it hasn't been that many, unfortunately. So not completely unexpected, just a little bit sad because, again, it is a good track. It's a very unknown track for road racers, and some of them may not like it just because of the layout, but I think it's awesome. But looks like there's a Cadillac spin up ahead. He's going to just stay parked over there. Cool, thank you, Landon. Get through that, no problem. Maxwell also gets through that. So 1 lap done. Hopefully Landon's able to rejoin behind us somewhere. Keep rolling. Promotes Justin Osterman up to 2nd. Justin Power. You like Justin Power when we rule the world. So Andrew, a nice gap, about 2.5 seconds already up at the front. We have about 2.5 seconds back to Maxwell already. So see how this goes. It's going to be a little bit of a therapy drive. Again, I don't really have anything super pressing to talk about. I appreciate all the love and support and respect and everything shown to me last week when I took some time off. Just needed a mental reset. A lot of stuff's been happening. You all know that I've been incredibly busy with personal life stuff the last, let's call it 2 months, and a lot of it just was like, came off that wave of adrenaline, having to get stuff done, and hit me pretty hard. Just one of those ruts in life, nothing crazy. So we're all good. Back to iRacing, back to recording. Yesterday you saw the video that I am not recorded yet. We're recording after this tonight. Is the very first ever JKR Late Model Series League race. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited for it. A lot of guys in the Discord wanted to run more late model stock car in a nice safe capacity without having the crazies from officials and all that. So the return to JKR League has been decided to do that for a season. We're probably going to rotate through cars as we go. The hope will be we'll get some, some crazy combos. Like I think next we might do Formula V at plate tracks of sort, like Bathurst, Daytona Road, Le Mans. I think of tracks like that. But huge draft tracks at the Formula V, which sounds like a lot of fun to me, even though it's going to be insane. After that, we may go back to FTSS, my old league that I ran for several years with Belsky and Adam and Banksy and some of the other people. And the old truck, I'll have to build some sets for that and try to get a more diverse schedule, but that should be a lot of fun because that's always fun to drive those, and it's good racing in Pickup Cup, and I know it's pretty much Ethan's favorite thing to drive at this point, so we will see if we can get some of that rebound and get back to doing that in a league setting. Maybe we'll do that in hosted like I used to, but that could be a lot of fun, and chaos as well, but we'll see how that goes, but that could be interesting. And then after that, I want to do a short solstice season, nothing crazy. I know that it's a boring car to everyone except me. And then after those seasons are done, maybe we'll do like Xfinity on road courses or something. That could be a lot of fun if people want some good Xfinity road racing. And after that, honestly, we'll see what we enjoyed the most. That'll probably put us at least halfway or more maybe through next year, and then we'll have to just wait and see what else we enjoyed, if we want to circle back to something, or if we want to pick something more permanently to do, or take some time off after that from a league setting or whatever. But I'm excited for it. It's a lot of fun. Again, I got about 20, 25 people in my Discord that wanted to get in on it, so hopefully it's a lot of fun. Hopefully it's an interesting thing to do, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. So you already saw that video. That was a yesterday video. Hopefully it's cool tonight. And when I say tonight, the video you saw yesterday at USA, a couple of 35 lap heats, full invert in between, so that's pretty interesting as a format. Hopefully it works out with the points and everything as I've said it. Big if, because it was very difficult to set up and I made it way too complicated. It definitely did not need to be as complicated as I made it, so something to change for future probably. And again, we'll just have to wait and see. I made custom fixed sets because the late model stock car is just so grippy with both aero grip and mechanical grip. It's like driving a slot car. So we did some things to the setup to try and make it more understeery and actually have to lift and use both feet, use both pedals and tire manage and all that fun stuff that actually like doing in a late model. So it drives a little bit more like the old late model did, and honestly it drives a little bit like the super late model, except with 2/3 the power or whatever, which is more fun. So don't know how that's going to actually work out in actuality as far as the season goes. It's going to vary how many laps we run based on track length and lap time. So next week will be Concord, but so I think we have 7 weeks planned for this first season just to give it a trial and get people interested. So we'll have to see how that pans out, and again, we'll see what the future holds for as that moves on. But for now, we're going to do these 7 races, and then we'll assess and evaluate how it's going. But hope you enjoyed that video yesterday. If you haven't seen that one, go check it out after you're done with this one. Even though this is going to be a little bit of a snoozer, it appears, but we at least are having a nice safety rating gain. And again, if we get 6 or 8 iRating out of this, that's a win as far as I'm concerned. Just get reset, get a positive race going forwards, because we had 2 awful ringmeisters. The first one, I'll just give you the cliff notes. We started, I think, 6th or 7th, and we're running 6th on the 3rd lap, and Ethan joined Discord. And when he joined Discord, I was streaming because Dave was in watching. And something happened with Discord where it windowed everything and blocked out my screen for about 2 seconds, and I smashed into the wall, and obviously got meatball and died, and limped home to like 17th out of 27 or something, so we lost some there. And then the third one, had a rough start, had to literally stop on track at that really slow left-hander about halfway around the lap. I don't even know the corner name, but the slowest corner, the only first gear corner in a GTE car. And there was a crash there, and I picked the wrong side, of course, unfortunately, and had to basically stop and wait for everybody to clear and then reverse out of it and get going again. But then we were on a comeback trail. That was on the very first lap, and on the third lap was in a battle for someone down through the compression, and then the following corner, the S's before Rebel Tree, and just got a touch and went flying off track, unfortunately, and smashed the car up in almost the exact same way, funnily enough. I think it might have been the other side of the car that I did it to, the left-hand side. The first one I hit with the right-hand side, but so that really kind of sucked. But again, not going to bother putting those on the channel. They were both pretty crappy races, and my last laps were 10 minutes or 3.5 minutes off pace that I just limped around. And I think that one we finished 14th or 15th out of 23, so that was another 50 or so iRacing lost, unfortunately, and that one got us down to the point where we were starting to lose SRs. So that's why we're down to the 485, but we'll get some of that back here today. Hopefully, knock on wood, that we can survive this one with no issues and no drama. And that'll be that. So I don't really know what's coming up for next week. I know we'll hopefully have a USORL Cup Series race, which is in the Xfinity car. I don't remember what track they're at, maybe Indianapolis. Just as something to do. We'll try to do a pickup cup at Daytona with the guys at some point. Obviously, JKR League week number 2 at Concord will be later in the week, and we'll come out in the future at some point. And then I have another special kind of trippy, unique video that I'd like to do. That's going to be kind of a 2-parter, but the first part will come out this coming week as well. So definitely a lot of interesting stuff, but I don't think I have any official races on the calendar for next season again. After that kind of mental break, the reset I took last week, trying to not race less, but just do different things, not focus so much on the results and the numbers. Just want to have fun, do things that interest me, and with my limited time frame and schedule, obviously, that varies greatly, and nothing really jumped out at me to put a lot of effort into this coming week. So we'll just play it by ear, but hopefully it's fun. I have some more thoughts already for what I may want to try next season with this new mindset of just race stuff and have fun and hope for the best. And we'll see what that looks like. I gotta do some more thinking. Obviously, we have like 6 weeks of the season left. We're already like halfway through the season. I think next week is week 7, maybe week 8. I think it's week 7. But regardless, we're already halfway through this season, which is unbelievable. This is a 13-week season. We've talked about that before, the extended season, to realign the iRacing calendar with the holidays. All the United States holidays, at least, or get the schedule back on track to end near Christmas. So yeah, a little bit of a different shakeup, but not running anything for points, but it's definitely been an adventure and a ride so far, and we're already halfway through it. Hard to believe, but still lots of good content. Again, probably less overall racing going on, but hopefully more variety, more interesting things. I won't say it's going to be a bunch of one-offs or anything, but there'll be a couple weeks of 87s in there. I don't think we have any more weeks of Global in the Kia. I think this is it for the interesting stuff I saw, but maybe we'll have some IMSA perhaps. Maybe we'll have some PCC. Street Stock C and Rookie are in there a couple times, I believe. And then, of course, the JKR League, USORL League, Pickup Cup as usual. So enough stuff's going on. Some special videos like I mentioned. So there's enough stuff going on, just none of it that screams out and jumps off the page maybe as a big highlight event. The iRacing Petite Le Mans was actually, at the time of recording, it's today. So hopefully Dave's VSCA event goes well. He was kind of a support guest driver, I guess. He left that league, but he's back for that event. And I know that Luan Zakalari and his crew are running a couple of Corvette GT3s there, so hopefully they're doing well. But no Petite participation for us this time around. First time in several years, I think, that I haven't run Petite with anybody. So no JKR cars being represented, but we'll have to start prep before too terribly long here for Daytona. I think probably in about a month or a month and a half, usually after Thanksgiving. That chunk between Thanksgiving and Christmas is when I start to dive into doing some research and figuring out teams and who wants to drive what, and working on setups and stuff. Still haven't thought about what car I may want to drive or who I want to drive with or anything like that. Obviously, I will essentially give myself first pick. There's no other way to put that, but I'm trying to win. I mean, it's all about winning for me. I like the experience, obviously, but Daytona is going to be my 36th Enduro, I believe. So that's a lot. I've done a lot of them, and probably going to be the last one. Probably certainly the last time I put a full-on attempt into it if I want to run Daytona in coming seasons, just because I've won Sebring in the DP, whatever the top prototype is. I've won that, and I've won Petite top prototype. I haven't won Watkins, but that's kind of a different race, being a sprint format. But 24-hour race would be cool to win. We haven't won one of those yet, and I'd like to win Daytona. Not sure if I want to run in the Cadillac again, or maybe in a GT car. Spencer and the guys had a great run in the Porsche last season. I think they might have finished third overall, or third in class, excuse me. So a lot of thinking to do about what I want to do and who I want to drive with. We'll have to figure it out as we get closer, though. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. Again, if you're interested, let me know. Put some teams together for sure. And I will definitely be on the grid somewhere. So that's going to come end of January, of course. But prep starts for that before too terribly long. But in the meantime, we will be here doing this. Maybe not Kia specifically, but again, I love this series, but it's frustrating when all the good tracks now, like this, like the fun tracks to just drive around, are sparsely populated. This is becoming a lot more, unfortunately, I noticed this season, like the normal GT3 cars or anything like that, like IMSA. You know, the really high population weeks are all the, you know, popular tracks: Watkins Glen, Monza, Daytona. You know, all the tracks you've heard of that are on the F1 calendar, essentially. You know, Imola, etc. So that's kind of frustrating, because kind of the thing that made this series cool was the niche factor of, you know, you have club circuits of sort. You know, you have tracks that you wouldn't normally see on normal calendars or schedules, and those are the ones that these cars really work well at as older scans. You know, even like a Lime Rock, it's a really, really short lap, but at least it's not a big Grand Prix track with millions of miles of straights, which isn't fun in these type of cars. So that part of it's unfortunate, but you know, we'll just have to decide what we want to do. Maybe we'll go back to PCC and drive a different car. Maybe we'll do more. I say this lightly. I really don't like driving GT3, GT4, GTE. It's just, they're not cars I'm very good at. So that makes it interesting, makes it tricky, but we'll just have to play that by ear, because I do enjoy the series. We just have to find a good time and a good group to run with, and obviously it depends on open or fixed set, but we'll worry about that down the road. I don't know what I want to do. I don't really like fast GT cars. I mean, maybe either if we're going to run PCC, either the Mazda or the 86 is an issue, or an option, excuse me. We'll have to look back at what those cars entail. It's been quite a while since I've driven either of those cars in an official race, so I'll have to take a look at that, and we'll have to reset when we get schedules for next season and make some decisions about what we want to do. I'm even open to running dirt again. I mean, I'd like to still keep running oval. I've enjoyed the 87s when I've had the time, and the tracks aren't, you know, less than a mile death fest. We still got some more, like I said, 87s weeks coming up here, but I enjoy it when it's at interesting tracks and fun tracks. But we'll just have to play it by ear what we want to do. But we definitely have old Atlanta, good Atlanta. We have Dover. I'm trying to think of what else is on the 87 schedule that I had circled to try to get in. So still trying to do that. Still enjoying rookie street stocks when I get a chance to run those at some of the good tracks. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of variety. We could even get back into rallycross some if we wanted to. It really depends. There are so many people, unfortunately, now, and I've talked about this before as well. There's so many people, not that they're just sweats, but they only drive one car, and I think that's kind of missing the point of iRacing. I mean, anytime you run rookie rallycross, for example, and there's the same guy that's just grinding 4 iRating at a time every single session all week, like he runs every split for 4 hours every night, every week, like that's a lot of rallycross, and that's a lot of driving the same car. And not only is that kind of missing the point of iRacing, in my opinion, but that's not fun to join up against, because unless you try to put that much practice in or have that much seat time, you can't compete. So even if you have a higher iRating than the guy, if he only drives one car, I mean, again, I know it's a little bit of pot calling the kettle black for this with my Solstice experience, but at least I drove more than the Solstice. I mean, during my Solstice peak, we at least drove, you know, Be Open and the late model, and you know, some other road cars, and we drove the Mazda Cup cars some, and Spec Racer Ford, and we drove this, of course. So, like, I get it, I understand it. It's just kind of interesting and frustrating to see people that literally only drive one car on iRacing, and they seem to be everywhere. I mean, there are a couple of them in Kia, actually, funnily enough. None of them are here today. Maybe they don't own this track, being an oval track primarily, but it's just an interesting dynamic now, because you have to be specialized to compete for anything meaningful, which sucks, because everyone's just concerned about you know, the numbers and the trophies and all that stuff. And again, I'm beating a dead horse. I've talked about this plenty in the past, but when you have a bunch of people that like only drive one car because all they are worried about is the championship and all they're worried about is iRacing and points and all this stuff, it does take away some of the fun and the beauty of sim racing, being able to drive everything. I mean, especially now post track day, understanding what goes into putting a car on the racetrack and the cost and the time and the effort and all these things. Like, it's a lot more fun for me this week to hop back and just run some crazy stuff. Like I did a couple test laps just to get my feet back under me earlier of the LMDH Cadillac at Road America. Obviously now that I've been on Road America, just comparing the differences, the similarities, etc. But the fact that you go into it and you know, you get in there and it's like, okay, this is crazy. I'm never going to have a chance in my life to drive an LMDH GTP car. And you're like, okay, well, I want to do that. I want to run IMSA. I want to run IMSA fixed, whatever. And I also want to run a dirt super late model, and I also want to run a rallycross car, like stuff that none of us will ever get to do unless we're up and coming professional race car drivers, which, you know, 0.1% of the people are. Most of the people do this for fun as a hobby. Unfortunately, Landon spun again behind this, but those of us that do this as a hobby and for fun, as we're only 2/3 of the way here, I can only talk so much, people, I promise. You're kind of missing the point of iRacing. I mean, people that play Forza Online or Gran Turismo or Assetto Corsa or whatever, they say the best part of it is that you get to drive a huge variety of cars, a huge variety of world-class racetracks. And the fun isn't to always just drive the same thing over and over and over endlessly. Like, you've kind of missed the point at that point, in my opinion. But I understand it. I get it. If you're just chasing numbers, that makes the most sense, which is fair enough. But then, again, we've talked about this. I'll stop. But you're doing it for the wrong reasons if you're just chasing numbers and stats. So, anyways, like I said, back to my original point, we'll have to just wait and see kind of what kind of mix of stuff I want to drive. Again, I mentioned this in my kind of burnout video the other day. Not sure what that's going to look like as far as how much racing we're going to do. Still enjoyed running Pickup Cup and stuff, but again, if it's going to be a thing where I don't ever like running Pickup Cup by myself, that kind of defeats the point. I like running with the guys, with E, with Alex, with Carl, Anthony, CR2, whoever comes in, all those fun series, Delara Dash, Carb Cup, whatever. The fun of that and the point of that is to spend time with my friends and enjoy racing stuff and not care about the result and just have fun and get some laughs in and do wild stuff like you can do in a league session. But, you know, obviously a league session, if it's my league, we're going to take it a little bit more seriously. But like Pickup Cup, Carb Cup, you're trying to win, you're trying to run well. But it's like if you're going to flip, make it cool. Like if you're going to die, make it awesome type of thing. And so you take, you know, 4 wide moves that you'd never take in an official race unless you're Alex Bell at a plate track. But you do all that crazy fun stuff, and that's the fun of it, though, right? You're not caring about the result. You're not worried about how it goes. You just want to have some fun. So that's fun, but I don't ever want to get into that stuff by myself. Again, USORL, we'll see how much of that we want to run moving forwards. Probably some, not every week. We'll probably run about half of the remaining races on their Cup schedule for this year. Which they got, 3 months left or something that ends, I think, in January or maybe early February. But we'll probably run some when we get to the holiday season. If we're busy, we won't bother. Just a fun thing to fill time. I enjoy it, and I enjoy driving the Xfinity car. The sets aren't too bad. When they tweaked the weather to be correct, which it wasn't at Darlington. Sorry to Davey and the rest of those guys, but Darlington was still terrible. But anyways, we'll see how that all plays out. And then again, some of the other stuff we got going. We'll see how much JKR League stuff we have going on with this late model stock series is scheduled right now to end right about the week before Christmas, I think. So again, we'll see how much of that comes to fruition and how that works out, but we'll play it by ear. We got to get Andrew through us here shortly, the number 2 car dominating this Cadillac field. Justin Osterman may have had an issue at some point there because he's about 20 seconds behind now after he was only about 10 for quite a while there. But we'll get him past us here probably down the front stretch this next time, if he can wait that long. We'll see where he catches us. He was pretty fast, ran a 104 in Q. I have no idea if that's actually that fast. It's a decent lap, but no idea what the Cadillacs have been running in like top splits or anything, so hopefully he'll just wait for the front stretch here. He should, being 1.1 back. Nice and smooth through there. He'll come flying by us here on driver's left down into turn 1. Just lift out of this early here for him. Absolutely no hurry. Looks like he might be D-Class too, so this will be a good result for him. It's a good win. knock on wood again, pending he doesn't screw it up here in these last couple minutes. Only 4 minutes to go, so probably 4 laps. We'll have to play it by ear. So again, appreciate you all for being patient with me. I know this has kind of turned into a therapy drive, which I do enjoy. I enjoy that the Kia races, seemingly the last couple seasons, have a lot of them have not been, I would say, door-to-door competitive, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't mind races like this. It's not about the irony again. And I enjoy to get a chance to talk. Obviously, I can talk my mouth off for quite a while if I get going like this. And again, you get to talk race cars, real cars, iRacing cars, life. You know, and like it's a good opportunity. I like it to have some background and get to talk. But you know, it doesn't make for the most exciting racing content ever. But that's how it goes sometimes. So I don't mind that. But again, it's when you're looking for a great race, this is not where you find it, unfortunately, anymore. Especially at these niche tracks, which I talked about. So we'll keep chugging along here, and we got just probably a couple to go. Like I said, 3 to go, depending on lap time. We'll check again next time by start finish where we are in terms of that. I don't know what laps they're doing, but I assume it's about 1 minute laps, so probably about 3 to go, which will become 2 where at start finish lines. So we have a comfortable lead, 16 seconds in front of us for Maxwell. He'll almost certainly get lapped again by Andrew, unless Andrew chooses to let him go, which will lock us our position. Not that it's really in doubt, but at least then we won't have to worry about it should anything weird happen. But fun race. Again, always love to get to drive this track. I think New Hampshire road course is awesome. I can't remember how this came to be in real life. I don't even think it exists anymore necessarily. Maybe it does, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this was actually one of the earlier oval scans for iRacing. Again, before my time, someone correct me if I'm wrong. The only tracks that I think came for sure after I joined the sim were Kansas and Auto Club. I mean, it's hard to believe that in my time on iRacing, when I joined, all the oval tracks weren't scanned on the NASCAR Cup schedule, because it seems like such an easy thing now that every oval track ever that NASCAR could go to was scanned. But that wasn't really the case when I joined, 11 plus years ago. So, but I think New Hampshire already existed when I joined in June of 2013, and I think that this was actually a pretty popular road course back then on some of the series like the Spec Racer 4, just because you didn't quite have the breadth of tracks that you have now, especially around the world. This was kind of a tighter club circuit type of track versus, a full Grand Prix, Watkins, Daytona, etc. So it's kind of an interesting track in that regard. It definitely shows its age in some of the scans and the textures and stuff, but I still love it. I think it's a great track. I think it's fun to drive around. It's got some nuances with some tricky corner types and brake zones and stuff, and I'm in the wrong gear there. When you're running the both chicanes like we are here today, it definitely has some character to it. It definitely feels like a very tricky track where it's important, especially through here, to place your car well so you don't spin out, you don't pick up 1X's, nothing like that. Again, we're just cruising around here today, but it is a fun track to push, even in like a USF. We've seen USF videos from me here before in the past, a couple seasons ago, so definitely interesting. But we are on the final lap finally here. Maxwell may or may not get lapped. I mean, he's definitely in range. May just jump out of the way. But we are on the final lap. Going to be a 22-lap race here for us today. I'd expect Maxwell to get past here shortly. She's going to maybe. There he goes. So let's Andrew go, and that'll be a nice wrap for us. We aren't going to lap all the way up to Maxwell, but good race to him. He kept down track, and hopefully he gets some good safety rating out of this. Kind of sad that we only had a 2-car race again, but that's how these things go sometimes. So a couple more corners and we'll finish this one up. Great race, everyone. Final time through the chicane. Wait for the couple cars behind us to finish also. I need, again, chasing some SR. We need all the corners completed we can get here. And there we are, across the line, pole to victory. No incident points, which is awesome. Love to see that. Always good. Good to get back on the right track after a couple rough, really rough Ringmeister races. So always good to get a win back in the books. And that looks like it's going to be the end of the race right there. So we will pull over and hop on out. Nothing terribly interesting happened here today, honestly. I mean, I think the only time we had other cars around us was pretty early on there when we passed that one guy that was wrecked, but we'll have to look at that later. Not concerned, but we'll go check out the results here today if my mouse will work, which is a big 50-50. I really need to take the time to figure that out. I don't know what the hell I got going on. This mouse has just been a disaster for me ever since I got it, and it's just come on, 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 you piece of junk. It's awful. Come on, just come on, come on. There we go. Okay, race results. Can I scroll up here and click on it? Yes, please. I see double greens, which is good, but how much we may never know. I'd like to click out of this and scroll down, and we get our 0.14 back, thankfully, so we're back to 4.99. Awesome, don't have to worry about that anymore. 16 iRating gain, not the biggest mark, but we're inching up back towards 3,500 again, so minimize some of the disaster that could have been after those two ringmeisters, not compounding it anymore. We'll get back to that 35.60 or wherever we were, somewhere in there at some point. Not concerned, but yeah, we'll have to just play that by ear and keep chugging along. I apologize for some of those sound issues I had last week as well. Nothing I could really do about it because I didn't realize it till after the fact. Had two cars not join the race, the 3 and the 6 car, which is interesting, but good race to Maxwell. He got 0.2 SR out of that, so good for him. And that's about it. So we will call that. Hope you have a great day. Make sure you drop that like again, sub down below. Appreciate you all so much, as always. And we'll be back for whatever's next. So that's going to be it. Till next time, as always. Bye-bye.